Everyone fixates on the iPhone 18 Pro. The bigger story is the calendar behind it and the hardware wave stacked right after. A leaked roadmap doesn't just hint at phones. It outlines a multi-year blitz. If you want the real tells, watch the dates, not the renders. Here's my take. The leak matters less for the flashy device names and more for the pattern it exposes. Apple plans in blocks: phones, software, then a cleanup wave of computers and accessories to lock you into the new generation. The iPhone 18 Pro is the attention magnet, fine, but the roadmap is basically screaming that the fall event is only the first domino. Once that keynote lands, a pile of Mac launches follows before the year ends. Then the 2027 lineup expands again. That's the real story. Now the fun part. You can predict the keynote date with scary accuracy because Apple is obsessed with ritual. People act like it's chaos every year. It isn't. It's tradition with a veneer of mystery. Start with history. The first iPhone showed up in January 2007 and hit stores in June. Then you got the iPhone 3G, 3Gs, and 4. All June announcements, all June releases. Clean, simple. Then the iPhone 4S happened on October 4th, 2011. That was the shift. That was the moment the flagship calendar moved into the fall, and it never really came back. Since 2012, the big iPhone keynote has sat in the first half of September, every time. The window is tight. September 7th through September 14th is the sweet spot, with the one giant exception in 2020 when everything went sideways and the event landed on September 15th. One day late, pandemic year, I'll allow it. So when people tell you Apple might do something totally different this time, I roll my eyes. The company doesn't do different without a reason that hurts. Supply chain pain, global disruption, something like that. Labor Day is the other anchor. It's always the first Monday of September, anywhere from September 1st to September 7th. Apple never schedules the keynote before it. Never. And Apple almost never schedules it the day after it either. That day is travel. That day is the crew loading in. That day press is flying into California. Apple can be demanding. It's not stupid. There's also the outside world factor. Early September is packed with tech noise, especially IFA in Berlin. If you drop your keynote right as every journalist has to sprint to Germany, you dilute your own coverage. Apple hates that. Apple wants oxygen. Apple wants the whole news cycle. Now look at the pattern that keeps popping up. Apple loves Tuesdays, and it loves being about 8 days after Labor Day. That's happened in 2013, 2014, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023, and 2025. That's not random, that's a preference. But here's the little rule that narrows it even more. When Labor Day lands on September 7th, the keynote lands on Wednesday, September 9th. That happened in 2015, same Labor Day placement, same vibe, same setup. Yeah, I'm calling it. September 9th is the date that makes the most sense. It's not guessing, it's reading Apple's playbook. Could Apple pick Tuesday? Sure, but Wednesday has precedent, and it avoids the day after Labor Day trap. Once you land that date, the REST of the schedule basically snaps into place. Pre-orders usually open on the Friday after the event. That puts you around September 11th. The checkout rush will be brutal, as always. Apple will probably let you preload your configuration in the store app again, so you can slam the order through the second the gates open. Then there's the software drop. iOS 27 is the other half of this story. People obsess over titanium colors and camera bumps, but software is the glue. Apple tends to ship the new iPhone software several days before the new phones hit stores. That gives developers a clean target. It also gives Apple a chance to stabilize the launch build. If we're following the usual pattern, iOS 27 hits around Monday, September 14th, maybe slipping a day. The public beta is already out. And yes, installing it right now is a gamble. You might get great battery, you might get random crashes at the worst time. Don't act shocked either way. Now the part everyone actually wants. When does the iPhone 18 Pro go on sale? Apple loves the next Friday. That's the rhythm. Announce early to midweek. Pre-orders Friday. Ship the following Friday. If the keynote is September 9th, the likely on-sale date becomes Friday, September 18th. That's the cleanest read. If Apple slides the keynote a full week later, then sure, sales move to September 25th. But I don't buy that unless something breaks in manufacturing. Now about the foldable. People keep throwing around Ultra like it's guaranteed branding. The name could be anything. The bigger point is the strategy. Apple can announce a folding iPhone at the same keynote and still ship it weeks later. It has done that kind of split before. Remember iPhone X? Announced with the iPhone 8 line in 2017, sold later. Same hype cycle. 2 waves of headlines. That's a very Apple move. It keeps the spotlight longer. It also buys time if yields are rough, foldables are hard, hinges are hard, displays are hard, and Apple won't ship it if the crease looks ugly under store lights. So here's what I expect. The iPhone 18 Pro and the Pro Max ship on the normal Friday. The foldable device gets announced at the same show. Then it either shares the same review embargo or it gets its own later embargo right before its own store date. Review embargoes are another hidden calendar. Apple likes to let reviews drop 2 or 3 days before retail day. It gives you time to watch videos and still order before the weekend. If phones go on sale Friday, reviews usually hit Tuesday or Wednesday. That points to September 15th or September 16th for the first big wave of coverage. Now zoom out. The roadmap leak says the fall isn't just phones and watches, it's Macs too. The swath of them. Before the end of the year. That's the part that should make tech people perk up, because it means Apple is lining up a second hype hit right after the iPhone cycle. This is how Apple wins the season. It uses the phone event to set the vibe. Then it follows up with computers that inherit the same design language, the same performance story, and the same new era messaging. It keeps people inside the ecosystem through sheer momentum, and then 2027 gets even more interesting. The leak points to more models, which screams iteration and segmentation. More SKUs, more price points, more pick your lane. Apple doesn't expand like that unless it thinks it can sell a ton of them. There's also a weird detail buried in the chatter. The base iPhone 18 might not show up this fall at all. It could slip to spring 2027, landing with an iPhone 18e and maybe an Air refresh. If that happens, it's Apple stretching the lineup across the year, not dumping everything into one keynote. That's smart, by the way. It keeps attention spread out. It makes the product line feel constantly new, and it gives Apple more chances to dominate headlines without inventing new categories. So when you hear leaked roadmap, don't just think of secret devices. Think of Apple's schedule as a weapon. The tight September keynote window, a predictable pre-order Friday, the software launch that primes the pump, a second wave of Mac hardware before the holidays, then a longer tail into 2027. One more thing. People love to argue about exact times like it's a conspiracy. Apple usually opens pre-orders at the same moment worldwide. That's fair. Nobody gets a head start. But the in-store pickup is local time on launch day, so Australia gets it first and California gets it last. It will be global relay race, and everyone's mashing refresh, bottom LINE. The iPhone 18 Pro is the headline, but the roadmap says Apple is planning a long, loud, coordinated push. Watch the calendar. Watch Labor Day. Watch the second wave of Macs. That's where the real tell's live. Apple's big trick isn't secrecy, it's consistency. The leaked roadmap only looks shocking until you LINE it up with the company's September habits. Expect an early month keynote, fast pre-orders, iOS 27 right after, and a bigger hardware wave before the year ends. The phone grabs you, the schedule keeps you. Drop your prediction in the comments. Which lands first, the folding iPhone launch or the Mac wave before the holidays? And what date do you have for the September keynote? I'll PIN the sharpest call. See you in the next one. Goodbye.